You found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we're going to talk about Zach Lavine being questionable for the opening night game against the Miami Heat. Patrick Williams wins the starting job over Javonte Green. And then lastly, we'll also preview the upcoming game against the Miami Heat. We'll all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. First-time users can receive 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. That's PrizePick.com, promo code Locked On. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central. But Pat, it wouldn't be a Bulls season if it wasn't injury scares. Zach Lavine already questionable for tonight's game against the Miami Heat. Yeah. Also, at Alex Caruso there being probable. He's probably going to play more than likely than not. Yeah. What do you think about these two additions to the injury report this early in the season?
I think that this is the Chicago Bulls trying to make a call here, and I don't like it. Let's let them play. Unless he came to you with some random injuries, because Casey Johnson tweeted out, and we'd heard from Zach Lavine on Friday that not only did he feel fine, but he felt comfortable in his own body. He felt like his legs and his mind were good. He was going to be able to go out there and kind of, play his game the way he wants to play. So he was very positive in speaking about what the outcome or what was coming into the season. And all of a sudden, right, he's on the questionable list. I think the key part that you have to focus in on this was that it is left knee management, which is something that CJ McCollum had talked about last season, that the team sometimes just makes a decision that you're not going to play. So I don't think this is a questionable on Zach Lavine, maybe his body not going out there and performing the way he wanted to. I think this is more of a questionable on maybe he came off of the court right and said, that felt interesting, but I'm good. And the team's like, we're not chancing it. We just gave you 200 M's. We need you to be out here, right? We'll take the heat for one game, literally, as we go up against the Heat. And we'll deal with the backlash for one game to make sure that you're ready to go. So if Zach Lavine doesn't play in game one, I fully think that this is a management standpoint, management move. Especially, right, they want to have him back for the home opener no matter what.
I look at it this way. The Bulls have a back-to-back this weekend, Friday against the Washington Wizards and then the Cleveland Cavaliers on Saturday. Yeah. I actually think putting him on this list is just something so the NBA can't question when they decide to sit him against the Wizards on Friday. That's what that's where my brain went to.
I can see that because I don't think he'll play a lot of back-to-backs this season.
Yeah, so I think that this is more of a thing like, hey, we're gonna list you as probable now. Yeah, we're gonna say you were a game time decision. You're gonna play, and then come Friday against the Washington Wizards, we're gonna go ahead and let you sit down, and then we're covered that way.
That absolutely could be it too, right? And again, right, the organization making a decision on Zach Lavine, because I don't think you're going to see Zach play in a ton of back-to-backs this season. There's going to be a lot of load management on Zach Lavine this season, right? Because there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to win. I mean, a lot of the back-to-backs are a really, really ridiculously tough game, and then like Charlotte. So you get an opportunity kind of to be like, okay, while we really need you for this game, maybe we can survive without you in this game. And so, yeah, that's actually a great point as well. Like, to your point, that would make the most sense. Because then, right, all of a sudden, although even that, right, like CJ McCollum said, like the teams kind of instill this in. Are we doing the fine thing for sitting healthy players?
Yes, the NBA is still technically doing that. And considering, we'll see. And then they have another back-to-back next weekend, Friday and Saturday again. Exactly. Don't be surprised if he sits against San Antonio, who is not trying to win anything. So just be on the lookout for that. He's going to get those game management days, but I do think that they're putting him on there early so that the NBA knows, hey, this is our intent. There's going to be knee load management, and so he's probably going to play, I would say, Miami Heat opening night. If he doesn't play, I'd be more shocked. But I do think he's probably going to sit that Wizards game and that San Antonio game for sure.
I would agree. And here's the thing, right? And this is kind of what I said, right? And some people wanted to fight with, not really some people, right? Like there's specific fans that we all know in the chat.
Yeah.
That just they're Bulls fans, but they just hate the Chicago Bulls. It's like, bro, like this is a great pickup. This dude sucked when he came into the league, and he sucked the entire time. It's like he did like 12 All-Star games.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, terrible signing. But anyway, right? Like, the one thing that I look at with Zach Lavine is that he really embodies Chicago. We are very like, oh, I tweet something, I heard something, or this is, some people, right? This is a serious injury. I'm getting up, I'm going to work in the morning. Zach Lavine's all about that, right? So like, if it was just a left knee tweak, Zach Lavine would be playing. You know how I know? He played half the season last year on what he called 50% of a knee at the end of the season, because he knew if he said he had 50% of health in his knee, they were going to sit him down.
Yeah.
So I think that, right, like seeing Zach Lavine, questionable for me with Zach, rarely turns into out. Rarely turns into out.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. I do. What do you think about the piece of Alex Caruso? Now his is more, I think, was it listed as a thigh contusion?
Thigh contusion. What that? I'll tell you exactly what that is. Alex Caruso probably went up for a layup or something and came down on that leg, and it's got a little bruise on it. That mug got a little sore. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been lifting a little bit. I know how you feel, Alex, right now, my boy, because I can't lift this up. Contusion. So I think he probably got a bruise or something, or he came down awkward on somebody's knee or something like that, right? Like normal basketball stuff, like. Yeah. Or Dalen Terry was too hyping through the pass real quick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, one or the other. So I think that's a normal basketball thing. Wasn't there somebody else on there? Oh, Javante is listed as a full go, right?
Yeah, he's he's off the injury report. Who gets the start if Zach Lavine does sit? We made a lot of. Do you start Javante Green as the starting two guard if Zach can't go?
Javante versus Jimmy, give it to me.
Ooh.
Or I'm gonna be honest with you, Caruso, right?
I guess because then you have Goran leading the second unit.
Yeah, Caruso.
Okay.
I would like Javante versus Jimmy just because like nobody would score. It would just be like both have 7. The score is 75-75 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Listen, it'd be crazy if we make a lot about Patrick Williams winning the starting position, which we're going to talk about next, and then they end up both starting in the game.
They both start the first game, bro. So no, I probably got. I would say Caruso's probably the guy, if he's able to go, that I would start at that 2 guard. Gives you a little bit more size at the 2. Plays well off of DeMar DeRozan already. Another guy that can set you up. And I mean, your frontline defense is going to be ridiculous, right? Ayo Dosunmu, Alex Caruso. That's a good lineup meeting up with. I mean, listen, Kyle Lowry. Y'all know how I feel about Kyle Lowry, man. Mr. BBL himself. I'm not a believer. I'm never. And every time I say that, he cooks us. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
so you need to shut up then. That's what you're saying. You need to shut up. All right, with Zach Lavine and us to already expect some load management from him. Over or under 65 games played this year for Zach Lavine.
I'll take the money line on that.
I'll
take the money line on that. That's probably right about where I feel like he's gonna play. Maybe a little bit over, maybe like 67, 68. So he misses like 15 games evenly, but I'd take the money line on that because I think there's going to be a lot of games that are back to back, or we value this game over this game that you're going to see this season with the Chicago Bulls.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the Bulls schedule, I went over it on Central, man. The first 2 to 2.5 weeks of the schedule is bananas, bro. We literally face just about every Eastern Conference contender within the first 30 days of the season.
Oh, we're gonna know.
Yeah,
we're gonna know what this Bulls team is. We're gonna know. I'm not gonna say what the Bulls team is, right? But we're gonna know kind of where we stand coming into the season. We saw the games tonight: Philly, Boston, right? Like those are 2 teams that are going to be juggernauts in the Eastern Conference for you this season. I'll tell you what, Boston don't look like they missed a beat.
Boston, they look. I mean, they made some mistakes in the game. There were some things in certain stretches.
Quite a bit. They were
fouling a lot. They don't have an answer for Joel Embiid straight up, but I tell you what, they got an answer for everything else on that roster, and that's what makes it a fun matchup. Is because Joel's going to cook, right? And we'll see what happens when Time Lord comes back, but. Hey, listen, that game was a fun game to watch and a great game to really start the season off and let us know, hey, man, this Eastern Conference is about to be real, real tough.
Bro, it's about to be crazy, bro. That's why when Muzz are like, the Bulls are going to win 50, I'm like, relax. I'm like, I got the Bulls right where they were at last season, and to be honest with you, that might move you down in the standings a little bit.
For sure.
That's how tough the Eastern Conference is this season. So
for sure. Yeah, we'll see. But before we get into the next topic, talking about Patrick Williams winning that starting power forward position, I got to talk to you guys about Prize Picks. Now, if you guys want to bet on anything, you know that they're going to have the line for all the Bulls games. So if you want to bet, use your fan to turn into some money. Use Prize Picks. But how does it work? You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they go to score more or less than their Prize Pick projections, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Prize Pick offers projections on any sport that you watch. This includes NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, college football, men's college basketball, women's college basketball, soccer, WNBA, esports, tennis, everything that you can think of. They offer lines on. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. Safe and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and Canada. Download the PrizePick app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive 100% instant match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePick will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter the promo code LOCKEDON and sign up for an instant deposit match of up to $100. All right, Pat. Lots been made of the other Pat Williams, on if he was going to be the starter. And he was named. Billy Donovan did name him as the starting power forward, brother. How do you expect for Patrick Williams to show up in this game, to play in it? Do you think like it was a wake-up call for him to lose that starting position for the 2 games that he lost it in? What are your expectations for Patrick Williams to start the season?
I think for me, right, with P. Will, the biggest thing is he going to do what he already does well? Right? Like, that'll be a good indicator on how he's going to start the season. What do we know from P. Will? He's efficient. Offensively, he's going to be able to go out there. Maybe he only gets 8 shots in the starting lineup. He's going to be able to knock down 4 of them. But now, okay, are you getting those 8 shots at the line? Are you going to be able to get to the free throw line, right? Are you going to be able to do the things you already do well? Give me a little bit of garnish on top. Where you going to be defensively starting off the season? Because guess what? You don't start off the season with a team that you can't cover defensively, right? Like, you look at this Miami Heat team, the Bulls are going to need Patrick Williams to come out and show out in this game. So for me, right, I think right, when I see where he's going to be at the start of the season, it's going to be, okay, is he comfortable playing the game that we already know he can play? Or is he trying to do too much because he hears us? Is he trying to do too much because he was benched? Is he trying to do too much because they moved him to the bench and now they brought him back in the starting lineup and I'm trying to just hold on to this job in this situation, right? Like, I think there's so many things that are going to come into play with P. Will, but I think starting it off right, like, just play the game that you've been able to play already. And then slowly add on to it. Because in the starting lineup, the one part about him moving to the bench that I liked was he was going to get to it, add a little bit more to his game because he was going to have the ball in his hands more. He's not going to have that situation in the starting lineup. He's just not.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's just, unless Zach is out, then maybe we see a little bit of that. But and maybe they do use, that would be a great thing if the games that Zach Lavine gets for rest management, to use those as games to say, hey, Pat, this is your time. We're running at least 20% of the plays through you today.
Yeah.
So we'll see. What I want to see from Patrick Williams, and I hope that he learned, is just play with energy. That's it. That's all you have to do. Take the open shots that come to you, play with energy, go after rebounds, go after loose balls. You're going to get baskets and easy dunks and layups if you just rebound the ball and find yourself under the rim and go back up strong. I want to see Patrick Williams play with that energy, and I hope, if nothing else, he learned and saw, hey, Javonte almost took this position from me, and everything Javonte did, except the highlight reel dunks, because Patrick Williams isn't that type of leaper, but everything else I can do. It's just cutting. It's moving without the ball. It's slashing to the rim. trying to take people off dribble, taking the open corner three that comes to me. Let me show that I can do that, because with my size, my shooting ability, if I do the same things that Javonte Green does or play with that same energy, I'm about to get 12 per game.
And you know what? And I talked about this, right? And it's like you said, it's about the Bulls utilizing what he does well, but also utilizing this offense in a different way. What did we talk about last year? I talked about this over on the Breeze, right? Like last season, 4 players on the court had the best seat on the house for the DeMar DeRozan show.
Yeah.
That's not going to get you easy buckets at the basket. That's not going to get you easy driving lanes. That's not going to get. We need to see movement from this offense on a consistent basis. We need to see, and I'm not saying, right, like all of a sudden we're going to be the Golden State Warriors, although that'd be nice. But I'm not saying that we're going to be the Golden State Warriors where there's constant movement in this offense, right? There's going to be iso ball. You have DeMar DeRozan. You have Vooch. You have Zach Lavine. Those are players that can take you off the dribble one-on-one, and you want to see them do that. That's a part of their game. But if they're able to consistently, if Patrick Williams is able to consistently move, set off ball screens, boom, flash open three, take that shot, that's where I think you'll see his game be able to take the next step, right? Because while there may not be many opportunities in the offense as a whole for Patrick Williams, if everybody's in there, you can make opportunities for yourself. Listen, there's 124 points per night in some of these games that are for you to get in on. Give me 12 to 15 of them, and I'll feel good about
it. Yeah, I mean, Patrick Williams has a lot to learn. And like I said, if nothing else, hopefully this is used as a wake-up call for him. Now, the question that I'm going to ask is, do you think that how do I want to phrase this? Is this a endorsement of Patrick Williams as you're the starter regardless? Is this more of a hey, you're the starter for now, but if you don't perform, Javonte's getting that call up? Do you and how many games do you think it takes maybe before we see Javonte back into that starting lineup?
This is situational, right? And I talked about it. We've talked about it on here. To continue to do what you know doesn't work is insanity.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Javonte Green next to Nikola Vucevic, while it's fun to see, while it can give you some offense, it'll give you a little bit of burst.
Yeah.
When you play against Bam Adebayo, I don't want Javonte Green guarding him. When I'm playing against Philadelphia, I don't want Javonte Green on PJ Tucker or
I kind of like that match.
You kind of like that?
I kind of like that match. Go ahead, keep going.
But you know what I'm saying? Like those teams that have those bigger power forwards, right? I don't want to see Javonte Green in the game because it's not on Vooch when Vooch actually boxes out, takes his guy out of the game, and then he turns around and here comes a 6'10" guy coming in to grab the ball for an easy putback. Yeah. So I think it's out of necessity. If there was another guy that gave you the size and weight that Patrick Williams did,
I believe his name is Marko Simonovic.
No, not at all. Who? Who?
We don't talk about Marco.
No. But legit, right? Like, if there was somebody else that was P. Will's size that gave you anything, P. Will might be on the bench. And it's tough to say, right? But that absolutely might be the situation right now because the 6'4" dude that just got hot in preseason sent them to the bench.
That's tough, bro. That's tough. But you're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong. Matter of fact, I would say this, right? Patrick Williams is lucky that this didn't happen 1 or 2 seasons into Dalen Terry's career after he puts on some weight and maybe he could play a small ball 4.
1 or 2. He better hope this like halfway through the season. Like legit, because here's the thing, right? While Dalen Terry is smaller, Dalen Terry makes himself known.
Yeah.
Dalen Terry, it doesn't have to all be. And listen, Patrick Williams does a lot of things, right, that don't go in the box score as well.
For sure.
But it's about I know Dalen Terry's out there. Oh, he's bringing the ball up, facilitating. Now he's on the other end. Now he's snatching this away. He's flashing open in the corner for an open shot. Now he's going to set a screen on somebody, right? Like he's being continuously active like I want Patrick Williams to do. But I just know he's not going to be as active as Dalen Terry will be because Dalen Terry's just, I'm new to the NBA. I'll do whatever I need to do to get minutes. For P. Will, right, to me, I think that you need to take a page out of Dalen Terry's book, whatever book that has been written, at least the forward, and look at it and say, if I can do just a little bit of that with the talent I already have, I'll be a monster. It's all mentality. It's all mentality with P. Will.
I mean, it really is. That's really, he has all the skills that you want, right? It's the mentality, it's the hesitation, it's all that type of thing. If once he, as we keep saying here, I think we've said it like every podcast for the last week. Yeah. Once Patrick Williams realizes what Patrick Williams can be, it's over. Yep. It's over. So
if the difference in mindset is the difference between him being the Kawhi Leonard comparison or Otto Porter Jr. I'm telling y'all.
By the way, shout out to Dalen Terry for coming in and as a rookie weighing 195 pounds. He's now listed by the Bulls officially at 199 pounds. He's getting there.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Gained 4 pounds and is definitely muscle because he still looks skinny as heck.
Yeah. So Dalen Terry putting in that work. All right, let's go ahead and get into the last topic of today.
Before we do that, though, we want to thank you guys for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now make your second listen game to game NBA. Every moment, every top performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game across the NBA with local analysts and with local analysis, there we go, that only Locked On can deliver. Hey, I pulled you. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA, available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast.
The Odyssey app. Make sure y'all check it out. Odyssey. Not all. Nonetheless, we're going to the last topic for today. And what better way to preview it than to end it than previewing the Miami Heat game, bro? What are you expecting in this game against the Miami Heat? How you want to do final scores? Whatever you want to talk about, bro. I think this game is going to be an ugly game. By that I mean it's gonna have to kick in defensively. The last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, I think is going to be a defensive juggernaut. Is what I think we're going to see. Onslaught is a better word.
See, I'm the total opposite. I think these Mars are going to do a lot of scoring, and there's going to be a lot of scoring from dudes that like shouldn't be scoring on the Miami Heat because I think the Bulls have good defenders, but they don't have good team defense yet. And there's a lot of holes that the Miami Heat and their exposure are very smart and will be able to exploit. And right now the games matter again, right? So like, okay, are the Bulls going to be better in pick and roll? I hope so. I think so on paper. Yeah. But if they're not, Eric Spoelstra is going to put them in that all night, right? I think this is going to be a fairly high-scoring game. I do think the Bulls heard the noise last season, though. I think the Bulls heard that, and played in the games where we can't beat top teams. We can't beat the best teams in the NBA. We struggle against, and so I think the Bulls are going to come in a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they're going to try to start off this season by dispelling some of those rumors that we can't beat top teams. Miami's slated to be a top team in the Eastern Conference. I've still got them as a top team in the Eastern Conference. Losing PJ Tucker didn't change that for me. So I think this is going to be an interesting, a pretty well-scoring game, high-scoring game, I should say. I would say the player that's going to get hot and is going to piss us off the most is going to be Duncan Robinson. Not Duncan. Don't let Duncan be the one. Anybody but Duncan Robinson. Don't let Duncan get hot. It's going to be that dude that you like, don't worry about him. Sheen's cooking again. But I do got the Bulls getting a win. I'm going to say Bulls win this one 119-111. Opening day win. See Red Nation stand up. You really got this as a big offensive game. I mean, hey, listen, I hope that you're right, because if we see the Bulls put up those type of points in their first game of the season, that's going to bode well for this offense overall. I'm going to be pissed that we gave up 111, though. That's true. But Duncan, you got Duncan Robinson having a big game. You know why? Because I called so many of these games last year, and dudes like Forkin Korkmaz was cooking us. This is true. Frank Campazzo was cooking us. Yeah, I mean, like dudes that you would look at and you'd be like, bro, no, legitimately. I think was it Campazzo? Somebody on Denver last year. I think it was Campazzo. Legitimately. And then the dude from the Pelicans, he got his contract because of us. Like, we let a lot of people Alvarez. Who should, Alvarado or whatever. Alvarado, my bad. He was playing well. I think Campazzo legitimately, like when you looked at his numbers, I think he had a big. I think it was Campazzo. He had a big game against the Bulls, like 25. And the last 10 games, because I remember going on this rant, the last 10 games before that, it was like 2, 5, 6, 25, 11, 3,
That's funny.
And I was just like, bro, like you getting cooked by this dude right now. Like he's not a good player.
It's always something like that, man. But I look at this game. I think this is going to be a game in which it's the score's like 97-92 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then whatever happens after that. Like I think that the Bulls in this game, at least initially in the season, as much as we saw ball movement and them, go to Vooch down low and things, if they get out to a deficit, I'm worried that the first couple of games of the season, we're going to see them default back to what worked last season, while they're still learning to build that as a steady part of their game that they always rely on the motion. I think that if this game gets tight, we're going to see a lot of DeMar down the stretch.
Oh, for sure. I think that you'll see a lot of DeMar down the stretch. What I do think that we'll see is, and this is what I've talked about, and we saw this in preseason. So I think that hopefully it will continue. You'll see more variety on DeMar, right? You'll see DeMar down the stretch, but you'll see DeMar down the stretch coming off a pick and roll with Vooch, where he's able to give Vooch the ball. Vooch is able to facilitate the something. Now you're passing it out not to Malcolm Hill and the rest of them boys, right, to knock down the three, but you're passing it to Ayo Dosunmu, you're passing it to Zach Lavine, you're passing it to Goran Dragic, right? So I think there'll be more opportunity there for them to make shots. And then, I mean, Zach Lavine, I don't think he's legitimately questionable. I think Zach's going to come out and be like, y'all tripped last night. Let me come out and show y'all that the cook show.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it. I do think the Bulls get a win in this game. Listen, I'm a Bulls fan.
Not a Homer podcast at all.
It's not Locked On Bulls at all, But I definitely think the Bulls are going to pull out the win there. And I think this is going to be, because I think the Bulls are going to come in with the mindset of, listen, we didn't beat the top teams last season. Yeah. We about to kill them. I don't know if they're always going to be successful in that, but I think they're going to adopt that mindset early in the season, looking at the schedule and circling it like, hey, yeah, we got to beat Miami this time. And hopefully we can finally beat Philly. Like,
who's the player that you think comes into this season with the biggest chip on their shoulder to shut up a lot of what the critics have said about this Bulls team?
DeMar. It's always going to be DeMar in that. Like, did you see his last Comp 10 video?
Yeah.
Bro, so like his mindset, he always tries to build up a chip. But other than that, I think, and I don't even know it's necessarily to prove people wrong. I think it's to prove that it's not a fluke. I think Ayo is going to be motivated to shut everybody down this season.
I'm not going to lie to you. That's the player that I instantly thought of, because Ayo legit was one of the best defenders. He's being lauded throughout the NBA until he hit his rookie wall. And then there was a lot of people that were able to get off on Ayo. They were able to cook against Ayo, right? Like, he still has some good games here and there, but there was a lot of people that was putting up points on Ayo. I think this season, his goal is going to be, I need to go out here and shut people down every night, no matter who I'm guarding. And I think Ayo comes in with the biggest chip to me, because there's a lot of dudes that are on these good teams that was cooking Ayo. Tyrese Maxey
gave Ayo the business.
Ayo, bro. Kyle Lowry was cooking Ayo.
I don't remember that. I'm not doubting. I don't remember that.
Didn't Kyle Lowry have a 30-point game against us last season?
Oh, dang. Okay.
I think Kyle Lowry cooked us, because like I said, I've never been a Kyle Lowry believer. I think Kyle Lowry's ridden some great coattails in his career.
Wow. The shots fired to Kyle Lowry.
I'll stand on that
one. Man, shout out to that. But yeah, and then also that Cleveland game, I think not only is the team going to be motivated to beat a team that now everybody's all of a sudden thinking it's better than the Bulls, but am I incorrect in saying, now it wasn't for a full game, but didn't Ayo give Garland like the business in the fourth quarter? Like,
yeah, he did.
Okay, I thought so.
He made Garland's life real tough. This is Lowry last season versus the Bulls: 19-5-6, 16-3-14, 19-2-10. Yeah. Now Ayo, I don't know if Ayo was Ayo was responsible for every one of those.
Really? When did we play them first?
We played the first game against them would have been November 27th. He might have got one in.
Lonzo was playing
that one. Yeah. And then the next one was December. Lonzo was out by December.
Okay.
So December 11th, and then we played them again in end of the season.
Okay.
Very end of the season. Then we play them like last 3 games or something like that.
Something
like
sounds
that,
about
yeah.
right. Okay, well, that's it, man. Listen, I think the Bulls are going to get a win. Let us know down below what are your predictions for this game against the Miami Heat tonight. But, Pat, you got anything left to say, bro? Bulls basketball.
Bulls basketball is back. Basketball in general is back. I'm not going to lie to you. And the Celtics came out in them jerseys tonight. Crisp.
Bro, I'm not even a Celtics fan. I'm getting one of those jerseys.
I want to see if they got throwback players on them because I don't feel good buying any of the modern players on them. But I would get a Garnett jersey in that month because Kevin Garnett's always been one of my favorite players, even though he's very angry.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, man, that's all I got for you, man. Bulls basketball is back. I'll be live for the live call tomorrow. Haize will be live for the post game tomorrow, and then you see us both on here and the halftime get together, man. I don't know what's the halftime we'll call?
Halftime hangout.
Halftime hangout. Yeah. So we'll be live a lot tomorrow. So tune in with us.
A lot of content dropping tomorrow. A lot of content
coming your way. But follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. See y'all tomorrow, man.
And you can follow me at CEO Haize, at CEO Haize. And thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen today. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA. The NBA season is here, and our local NBA experts and insiders have you covered on and off the court all season long. All the biggest stories around the NBA every Monday through Friday in less than 30 minutes. Available on YouTube, Odyssey, and wherever you get your podcasts. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls. We out this mug. Peace, y'all.
Peace. Yeah.